still have emails from Shadowline, Jim Valentino, rejecting the hell out of this guy. But I had to be rejected in order to grow.
Yo, that indie comics guy, what up here? Got Joe McPhee here from Exigency Studios here in Chicago. As you can see, currently working on the Primetime Saturday Night. However, you put a thing out here for questions, so I got a good question for you here. Why do you think a lot of independent creators as a whole are afraid to pitch to brick and mortar stores and to other well-known publishers, especially if their book or series is already out and has several issues here? If I just find it kind of curious that it gets to the point where some people may look at, the lack of money from doing it the proper way and taking things to a whole different level as far as not wanting to sell their book wholesale wise when it comes to brick and mortar stores, or looking at the cut that a well-known publisher may take from it as opposed to looking at the benefits of further distribution. Just curious about your thoughts here.
Good question, Joe. If you want me to answer your question right here on the channel, do not forget to submit a 30-second video clip. Email it to battleeulogy@gmail.com. And if I think it's interesting, if I think the chat nerds would get something out of it, you too will be featured in a future video. Honestly, Joe, to answer your question, you have to look at Todd McFarlane. And the reason I'm pointing out Todd is because he said in countless interviews how he would submit his work to Marvel and DC and other publishers, and he was rejected time and time and time again. He was rejected time and time and time again. Jim Lee, same story. Art Adams. And these are just a few creators, and these are all artists I know, that were rejected. Think about the writers trying to get your writing sample to the proper editor or assistant editor. That used to be what we did in this industry back in the 80s and 90s, even going back to the 60s and 70s. We would go to conventions with our portfolios as artists. Or if you were a writer, you would run into that assistant editor in the hallway or at the convention. Can I email you a writing sample? Or can I show you a writing sample? That used to be the norm. Submitting your work to these publishers and getting those rejection letters. That used to be a standard in this industry, because sometimes if you were lucky, you would get feedback. And that feedback was like gold. You held on to it.
I still have emails from Shadowline, Jim Valentino, rejecting the hell out of this guy. But I had to be rejected in order to grow.
The benefit of self-publishing is you don't have someone telling you, no, you're not good enough. No, you're not ready. No, this isn't commercially viable. That's the benefit of self-publishing. However, if you want to maintain and grow and create a career for yourself, you need people slapping your hand. Now, you need people giving you that critical analysis and letting you know, hey, right now, this is good, but you need to work on this. Your plot structure is good, but it's not making a story. Your plots are all over the place. Or your dialogue sucks. You need people in your corner telling you that. Or if you're an artist, hey, you don't know how to draw feet, dude. You don't know how to draw backgrounds. You don't know how to draw people just sitting in a coffee shop on their laptops talking, and it has as much weight as this big action scene. The advantage of self-publishing is you don't have people telling you no. And people have gotten comfortable with that, because this is the kicker. Anyone can make money on Kickstarter or Indiegogo if they grow an audience. Doesn't mean that the product is good. It means in part they have enough friends. There you go. When you have enough friends that are backing these projects, making them successful, that person with less talent is thinking, you know what? I'm just as good as Jim Lee. I'm just as good as Neil Gaiman. They believe this in their head because the illusion has been created for them. Not based off talent, but based off popularity or just knowing a lot of people. You know, they may hang out with Rachel, Joey, and Ross, and Phoebe and them. I don't know. But that's the illusion that's created. So they're comfortable with that. My old mentor, and I've said this many times on this channel, my old mentor told me people are scared of success. And I was like, no, sensei. People want to succeed. I hear people tell me all the time how much they want to succeed. And he was like, think about it. People are used to not getting what they want. I'll repeat that. People are used to not getting what they want. So they're comfortable with it. That's where you get these indie creators, oh, I'll never work for Marvel or DC. It's indie all the way. It's like a fire truck or something outside. Pretty scary. But anyway, on with the video, right? So people are comfortable not getting what they want. They're comfortable in that mind state. You know what? I will never work for them, so I'm just going to convince myself I do not want to work for them. It's that inception effect, right? They're playing psychological games with themselves by, like, hey, you know what? I'll tell myself I don't want to work for them, and one day I'll believe it. You'll believe that you don't want to work for a company that has characters that inspired you to be in this industry in the first place. I call bullshit. Who doesn't want to write Spider-Man or X-Men or Batman or whichever character you grew up and it had a profound impact on you to make you want to write comic books or to draw comic books? One of my first comic books was Conan the Barbarian. I would love to write Conan. Do I have a Conan story in the back of my head? Damn right I do. Warlock, which was an old DC characters like swords and sorcery or whatever. One of the first DC books I ever read. I would love to tackle that character. Challenges of the unknown. I would love to write these characters. Yeah, I got my Batman story. I got my Superman story. I got my X-Men story in my back pocket. But my point is, most of us were inspired by characters created by Marvel and DC, not characters that were created by independent creators, with the exception of maybe Ninja Turtles or something like that. Anyway, that's what it is. People are afraid of rejection. That's why people are like, oh, they're just gatekeepers. You can't go to McDonald's and just walk in there and just get a job. You have to apply first. And when you apply for that job at McDonald's, that manager or whoever's interviewing you, they're going to make sure you're McDonald's material. You don't get them golden arches for nothing. It's the same in any business. You have to be qualified. And when it comes to publishing, your writing, your inking, your coloring, your lettering, your artwork, it has to meet industry standards, or at least the standards of that editor. Is he or she a gatekeeper? Damn right, because we all cannot do this on a professional level. I'm one of those people, I love indie rock. I go to bars and clubs all the time, meet some amazing bands, get to hang out with them, buy them a beer, they buy me a beer, we have good times. And some of them will tell me, they're like, yo, Art, I have no interest in getting a record deal. And I'm like, why? They're like, I know the politics involved in that, so I don't even want to try. What they know is based off secondhand information that other bands or people have told them. They have not experienced these things themselves. So based off hearsay, they've already shut off their potential blessing. Even though talent-wise, they may be right there. And we do that to ourselves. Or I heard this about this company. I heard this about this company. So we don't even try. We don't try. Now, the other part of your question, when it comes to create your own books, most publishers, they will do a couple things. One, they will not pay for your production for your create your own book. You're going to have to pay for that yourself. Most of these publishers will not take ownership of your character. Let's get that out of the way. Everyone is not Action Lab. Okay? Most of them will print your book. They will pay for the printing. They will pay to put your ad in previews under their banner, all that good stuff. They will set up the SEO for your book because it's being published by them. They'll take care of all of that for you. You will get a small cut of the printing cost because, again, they're covering the printing, the advertisement, the SEO for that book for you. It's putting you in a better position. Now, you have to sell the book. They're going to do their part. Depending on the company, some of them will like, yeah, we put it in previews. We put it in the search engines. That's it. The rest is up to you, my friend. You can still negotiate. Like, hey, I need more than that. Can you set up podcast interviews, blogs, all this, newspapers, magazines? Some of them can, some of them can't, depending on who they are and what you negotiate for. But a lot of independent creators, they won't even contact these small companies like Antarctic Press or SourcePoint or Volt, Red 5 when they were a thing. They won't contact them. They're comfortable with their Kickstarters. That's their one and only business plan. Kickstarter, Indiegogo, that's it. They're comfortable with that. Does it hurt their overall IP? Yes. Because they're not getting it into more people's hands. 50 backers, 30 of them are friends and family or other creators. Then that means you got 20 real backers. It's not a good thing. Now you've done 2, 3, 4, 5 campaigns. That number isn't really growing outside of additional friends and family. What are you going to do now? You have to get your book into as many hands as you can. That's how you grow your fan base for not just your IP, but for yourself. If you're not doing these things, setting up distribution, even if you don't team up with another publisher, doing it yourself, you're hurting your IP and your potential bottom line. It's that simple. So, the moral of the story, I guess, people are scared of success. They're in their comfort zones because once they actually hit their goal, then they have to set up a new goal for themselves in their IP. It's easy to blame gatekeeping and blame industry politics than to actually try to do something. Anyway, like, subscribe. I'm the Indie Comic Book Guy. See you in the next video. Peace twice.